Hey guys, I'm Will. I am a music tutor. I teach piano, flute, euphonium, voice, music theory, ear training, composition. But before I did all of that, I actually was an apprentice optician for 7 years. So in this video, I'd like to talk about how I ended up leaving the optical field and my review and take on it. I want to preface this with the fact that this is not everyone's experience. There are very good opticians out there who are really looking to help people. That hasn't been my experience. All right, so let's start at the beginning. So in college, while I was studying music, I happened to have a friend who was working for the LensCrafters at the time, who ended up getting me a job. From there, I was able to learn a lot about eyeglasses. I actually did quite well. I was able to meet all my sales goals. I did really well with helping people find styles and just enjoying their eyewear. I thought this was fantastic. I get to do music and I get to do science, which are like my two passions. And it turned out that the eyeglass field was not what I thought it was. So here's a little breakdown of things you need to know before we start the video. We have the optometrist who checks your eyes and does what's called a refraction, which allows you to get eyeglasses. You have the ophthalmologist who performs surgeries such as removing cataracts, things like that. And then you have people who are like me, opticians. Think of us more like the pharmacists of the optical world. We would take those prescriptions and turn them into eyeglasses. So, LensCrafters was okay. It belonged to what's known as the evil empire, which is Luxottica. Just so you're aware, beware of Luxottica. It's a humongous Italian company. It owns LensCrafters, Pearle Vision, Target Optical, Sears Optical, JCPenney Optical. It also owns iMed, which is a very popular eyewear, just eye insurance in general. So they're getting double paid. One, by you going to the doctor and buying the eyeglasses. Two, by having you purchase this insurance. And to top it all off, they own many popular brands such as Ray-Ban, Oakley, Versace, Prada, Tiffany's, things like that. Those are all Exotica brands. So, yeah, that was fun. I ended up having to leave because I just got as far as I could go. There was nowhere else for me to go at my location, so I ended up going to a private sector, working for a private doctor, which was great. That's where I learned a lot of my knowledge on optics in general, and where I got to really get involved with picking frames and things like that. Then from there, they kept dangling a promotion, they kept dangling a raise in front of me that never happened, so I ended up having to leave to go to another practice. At that practice, I happened to have had a daughter who had some special needs and was in the NICU for a while. They gave me a hard time about taking off while she was in the NICU. In general, there was a changeover in the optical management. From the time it switched over, basically my career days were numbered. She was nice enough, but obviously I ended up being let go for, I'm still not really sure why. I just think that me and the new manager didn't gel well, so she decided, let's just cut our losses. So we went our separate ways. Then I was hired in at BJ's Optical with US Vision. I was told it was going to be a part-time just fill-in so the optician can go to lunch, which is illegal because I am a optician's apprentice, which means that in the state of Connecticut I couldn't sell eyeglasses or fit eyeglasses without an optician present. Let that sink in for a minute. If I was supposed to be there when the optician was on lunch, how's that going to work? It's not. So yeah, it ended up not working out for me. My final straw really with the optical field was when my wife got pretty sick, and I went to take family leave, which is something that is granted legally. I mean, I don't know if it's federal, but I know in the state of Connecticut, the business you work for is required to give you family leave if someone is really sick, and they refused. So they gave me the ultimatum of either quit or be fired because I had to take off a lot of time. She was in the hospital a lot. So I ended up leaving. So all of that is my background and my saddest story that took place over 7 years. So that's a lot of work that it just never went anywhere. The main thing that really turned me off with the optical field that I really felt bad about is I thought I was helping people, but really it was about sales and about making money. So these opticians have sales goals, most of them. They have to hit these goals or else they get in trouble. Usually some kind of like pay cut or they lose something. It's not a good situation. So as much as you want to think that they're there to help you, they're there to make money. So with that in mind, there are opticians that are good that really do want to help you and don't care that they may not get as much money as they could. But there's a lot that are just there really to help to make some money, put some cash in your pocket. An optician normally makes anywhere from $26 to $30 an hour once they're licensed. In the state of Connecticut, there is a licensure run by a board of opticians. However, there's only one optical school run by this board, so you would be paying this board. Plus, you have to pay for your licensure and pay to take 3 tests before you are licensed. On top of that, you can do the apprenticeship for 8 years, I believe, is the apprenticeship. But again, you're paying them during the apprenticeship, and it's a well-known fact that the percentage of opticians that they allow to get their licenses when they apprentice is far lower than those who go to the school, so they're forced into the school. So again, the optical field is just a money-making machine. So I talked briefly about Luxottica and lenses and frames. The average frame costs about maybe $3 to $5 to make. You are paying anywhere from $190 to $600 for a frame just because the name is stamped on it. This is a superiorly high markup, even if the people producing the frame in the first place are charging the doctor, let's say, $50 for the frame. Most doctors' offices will do a 3-time markup, so you'll end up paying $150 for the frame. Same thing with the sunglasses. It's usually a little less. It's between 2 and 2.5 time markup. So if a pair of sunglasses is $90, you're going to pay anywhere from $180 to $240, and that's without lenses. Now the lenses, this is kind of one of the things I'm not really sure how to explain. They're going to sell you stuff you don't need. They do it all the time. They may sell you stuff that will hurt you too. Not every single coating and every single type of lens is good for every single situation. So in general, lenses, again, to be manufactured are fairly cheap. I've seen single vision lenses for $3 being sold to the doctor for $3. So how cheap is it to make and get those materials in the first place? And then it's amped up to be $190 to the consumer. Now, again, I'm kind of about it because one, you have to pay the optician, you have to pay for the machinery to make the lens from the disc. It literally is a solid plastic disc. It's not, it's a service industry, so I think $190 is a bit ridiculous for a $3 lens. I think it would be better to be like $100, but you're still really getting kind of ripped off there. As far as the coatings go, transition lenses don't work in your car because there's a UV windshield. So if somebody's selling it to you and you don't go outside with your glasses, don't buy it. Don't get any kind of anti-reflective that doesn't have a scratch coat on it because it won't stay. It'll rub right off. If you're going to be working on a computer, make sure you get some kind of UV protection. They have these blue coatings now that protect your eyes. They're really good for you, actually. Again, this is all stuff your optician should be telling you, but in general, they're going to be telling you this is what's on sale and get you to buy something that'll give them the most amount of money. I really, really feel sad about it because I thought that this is a great industry to help people. I've heard stories of opticians helping people after 9/11 and how amazing that was to see how they could help. It just never happened here. And I also noticed as a person, I was becoming more and more mean and pushy and rigid because I had this overwhelming I have to sell this amount, I have to sell this product, I have to do it this way. It just was changing who I was. It was hurting my relationships with people because again I saw them as dollar signs as opposed to people. And I didn't like what it was doing to me. I don't like industries that take advantage of people. I feel like the healthcare industry has so many outlets that just take money and they don't give back. So I told you, my story. Just beware of where you're going. You can buy glasses online if you have basic prescription. So if you look at your prescription and you see a number that is either plus or minus 250 or lower, with no other numbers, feel free to go ahead and order those glasses online. You're probably going to be fine. They're going to ask you for a PD. It's literally the distance from one pupil to the other. You can have anybody do that for you. It's measured in like millimeters. So it's not that hard. But beyond that, take it for what it is. So I hope that this helps you make an informed decision about optical. I really strongly recommend paying attention to where you're going. I always say go private sector if you can, as opposed to corporate. Corporate, as I said, that's where those opticians are really being pushed to hit a sales goal. It's also where they're really looking to make money, not necessarily looking to help you. Whereas private really probably wants to help you because they want to make sure you get eyeglasses that you can use and that you don't come back because they're broken or anything like that. So you're going to find better quality in the private sector. Anyways, so I hope this video helps. And for those of you who are my friends who are like, why did he leave the optical field? I hope this sheds a little bit of light about my situation and what happened. Again, this is not everyone's situation. Everyone's situations differ. Just here in Connecticut as apprentice optician, watching people really getting taken advantage of and not seeing people being helped enough, it bothered me a lot. So that is why I left the optical field, and that is my little review on that. I hope you guys have a great day. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section. Feel free to share with people. I think knowledge is power, so giving people the power to know what's going on and about the optical field will give them the ability to make an informed choice. And I hope you have a great day. Bye.